Hey everybody, it's Jerry with the Juicy Fuego channel, and I'm at it again bringing you a review video. Before I start, I want to ask a question. So I've been thinking about potentially changing the name of my channel. The whole idea behind Juicy Fuego was I was talking about the juice inside the fragrance and whether it was hot or not. So maybe in the future I'm going to do a series where I grab about 5 of my fragrances, maybe three to 5, and I talk about each one of them individually and I rate them whether I love them, like them, or dislike them. If something's kind of like it's not even a like or a dislike, I'm probably just going to shove it in the dislike, because those fragrances that are trying to just meh, we're never going to pick up and we're never going to wear those. The only ones that we're actually going to pick up and wear are going to be in the like category and the love category. It's just the way it is. The only difference between the love and the like category is we tend to grab the ones from the love category that much more. So let's move right along. Today I'm going to talk about something that's actually controversial, and there's been a lot of talk about this, and I want to get my opinion out there. I know on Instagram that I've talked about this, and I have a video out there on Instagram, but yes, I'm talking about Office for Men. I've had this for quite some time now. I've put a little bit of a dent in it, so I think I can air my opinion finally. So let's grade this thing. Now, let's first talk about the presentation. Hey, the presentation's not that good. It just isn't. So it is what it is. So presentation-wise, I don't know. It's pretty basic. It's almost like you're buying a tester. So you don't get the full box presentation when you buy a tester. And with Jeremy's Office for Men by Fragrance One, yeah, it's like getting a tester. But that's the way it is. It's simplistic, and I don't really like the cap, and it's sharp like that. I just, it's not my cup of tea. But I tell you what, even though the sprayer kind of looks, when it's crimped on there like that, it kind of looks a little bit ugly. Maybe something can be done, you know, put like a little ring around here, make it look a little more professional. So everything's done on the cheap side, and the only thing that's really money spent on is the juice inside, I think. But this atomizer is actually pretty good. And I'm smelling that nice bergamot off the top, and that Broxen hit. That just initially gives you a little bit of a Ventusy type vibe, and then it goes into that Orris later on. It gives it a little soft touch, and then it rides into the dry down where it gets really nice woody accords, and that's what this scent's all about. It's easy to wear, it's mass appealing, it gets compliments. So how do I rate the presentation? It's a 3 out of 10. The presentation's horrible. It just is. Let's talk about price. I look at all the videos online, and everyone's saying, oh, but it's $180 retail. Well, if you buy this for $180 and you are trying to be frugal, you have been living under a rock, because Jeremy has been doing buy one get one free for this for so long, and it's still going on. And not only that, he's doing this 60% off thing recently, and I got what I want so far, so I haven't even partaken in any of those types of things. But where you spend over a certain amount of money, where you would have to buy more than just one bottle of Office for Men to partake in this. So if you bought one date and one office, you could get that 60% off. That was my understanding of it. If any of you know if that deal is still going, let me know down below, because 60% off would bring this all the way down to $72, which is right probably where it should be, between 72 and 50% off, $90. I'm okay with spending $90 on this. It's his creation, it's niche, and it has a really good performance. So let's talk about this fragrance itself, the scent. So I went over the notes a little bit. It's got aroma chemicals in it. that make this thing last so long, like ridiculously long for a freshie. Now, it lasts about 8 to 9 hours on my skin, something like that. I have oily skin, so I've even had it a little bit longer, but it kind of depends. When it's hotter out, it's not as long, so I refresh around 5 or 6 hours. But this thing has the performance on this thing is just amazing. So when we come to the scent, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's been done before, but this is a new, different DNA, but he's got it attached to aroma chemicals, and it is mass pleasing, and women are going to like it. Okay? So in addition to that, the performance is ridiculous. I can't complain about the performance. It's exactly everything that I wanted it to be. 10 out of 10 on performance. I've had the sillage is great. I've walked outside and I've gotten a compliment 10 feet behind me from somebody that was walking in my wake, smelled my sillage. And then I've had people compliment me on this fragrance by walking into the same building that I work at, and I was 50 feet away from the doorway. And they didn't yell down the hallway, but they told me later on in the evening that, hey, every time we walk into there, we smell that, we know it's you. So this could be a signature scent for sure. And every time somebody would smell it around, they know that I'm around. Now, I am a fragrance enthusiast, so I kind of wear a bunch of other scents. Let's talk about originality. How original is this fragrance? Well, it starts off in like an Aventus-y type vibe, kind of like Mont Blanc Explorer does. And then it goes into that soft orris, and then it dries down into a nice woodiness. But the thing about it is that's not all that original. I mean, that's been done before. This is just kind of like a Frankenstein. It's been mixed, matched with, and then put together and blended nicely. Alberto Morillas did a very good job with this fragrance and gave Jeremy exactly what he wanted. So is this something that's going to blow a fragrance enthusiast or a frag head's socks off? Absolutely not. That's not the target market that this is for. This is for those people that don't want to think about fragrances as deeply as I do. So for them, this is a winner. Now, for originality, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So for a 6 out of 10, it's pretty good, because the reason why it got such a high score in that category, because it's certainly not that original, but it does have its own DNA, is because it's attached to aroma chemicals that give it such good performance. Let's talk about performance. Yes, it performs all day. It performs those full 8 hours typically. You might have to respray it during the day on a hotter day, but usually you only need to refresh one time, because more than once is a little too much at that point. In the morning, when you're at home, before you drive to work, and before you get into work and everything settles down, yeah, I spray it the typical 5 times, maybe 4 times. But when I refresh, I only spray it once, because it will fill a room right after you spray it, for sure. All right, so let's come down to the brass tacks of it. What do I think about this fragrance? Well, is it a love, a like, or a dislike? I like it. It's not a love. It's not something that blows me away, but it's definitely something that is starting to grow on me a little bit more. When I first got it, I wore it a lot, and it grew on me a little bit as I wore it. But I know it works. I know what it's for. I'm going to wear it more this spring because I feel more comfortable wearing it in the warmer months. So that is Office for Men. Overall, if I was to rate this fragrance, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's a designer fragrance that is going to compete with all those other designer fragrances in the same category, except it's going to give you really good performance. Now, Does it give you better performance than, say, Dior Sauvage? I don't know. I don't have the EDT for Dior Sauvage. I have its brother, the EDP, that apparently doesn't work as well as the EDT. I don't know. But this one's good. It's in that category. And I think that Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage would be more in the score a little bit higher for me personally. But yeah, this is a solid 7 out of 10 for me. And I think that's pretty good. And I think Jeremy did set out and do exactly what he wanted for this. Would I recommend this to a frag head? Oh. Do you want a mass? Are you the type of frag head that likes the mass pleasing scents that you don't have to think about? Like me? Yeah, give it a try. Get a decan of it from somebody. Give it a try that way. But I tell you what, decants, especially like the smaller ones, the little samples and stuff like that, they don't really tell you the true story of a fragrance. You have to have something like 8 mils to really tell you, give it a real honest wearing, in my opinion. So 5 mils is okay too, but like, 1 to 2 milliliters is just, for me, is not enough. I have to have a little bit more than that. So get yourself 4, 5, 8 milliliters of this if you like those mass pleasing scents, and maybe, just maybe, you'll like it more. But here's another thing. I had some women check this out, and I put it up against Bleu de Chanel and Sauvage, and even Sauvage Eau de Toilette, because I had a sample of it. This thing came out on top much of the time in those situations. So to my male nose, I didn't like this as much as I like Bleu de Chanel. However, I think it's because that Aventus vibe that starts off at the beginning and everything that this is about, and that patchouli that kind of sneaks in there, and it gives a little bit of that dirtiness, just enough that makes you look like you're edgy and all other kind of stuff. This kind of edges in there and sneaks past. It's like, the Dior Sauvage right here, and just kind of like, it just sneaks past. I don't know how it does it, but I think for women it's going to get more of a 8 out of 10 type score. And a lot of times a lot of women are bored with the Bleu de Chanels and the Dior Sauvages, and this is just something slightly different, and nobody else is going to be wearing this because this is hard to get. You have to order it online. Hey, that's my thoughts, and you know what? 7.5 out of 10, because I kind of have to average it out. Even though it's a 7 for me, because I'm a little bit of a frag head enthusiast. But women that I've been around and the compliments that I've gotten for this tells me that it's a little bit better than what I think it is. 7.5. There it is. Hey, let me know what you guys think about this fragrance. I know a lot of you don't like it. I know a lot of you don't like the person behind it. But I tell you what, I don't really get into the drama that much. I'm okay with this. I was okay with the price that I paid for it. And I'll be giving it some more wears. It's one of my dumb reaches now. So that's what I got. And we'll see you next time. Bye.